Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Busy. I hope you enjoyed today's story. And if you do, please subscribe. Here we go. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Busy. It is episode 528. Oh my gosh. Time is flying by. I cannot even believe it. And our title today is Lent, Trust, and True Transformation. No gimmicks required. Hi, everybody. How are you today? It is Wednesday, March 5th, Ash Wednesday. It's so crazy that Lent is here again. And it's been a year since I literally said, okay, I want to do something different for Lent. It was literally a year ago. It's so crazy because I remember being a child and being like, it's Lent. What are you going to give up? And being a kid and being like, okay, what am I giving up? I have no idea what I'm going to give up. What am I giving up? I have no idea. And having this sense of like, oh my gosh, do I have to give up TV? Do I have to give up candy? Do I have to give up this? Do I have to give up that? And it was always something really big in months. You know, I just remember it being a big deal, like what you were going to give up, how you were going to do it, and what it was going to be. And then fast forward to, of course, your 20s, and you just forget about it when you go to college. You're like, what is Lent? I don't even really care. I mean, Easter, you go home for Easter because it's spring break or whatever. But beyond that, it didn't really have any validity. And it took me till I was 55 a year ago. And I was 55 and it was coming up on Easter. And I was like, what am I going to do? I've been searching for a church. I've been searching for spirituality. I'm a searcher. And I had been like looking and looking since I came to Florida, like, where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Where am I finding my spirituality? I mean, I tried the whole, like, doing the Buddha and the yoga and doing like, and I'm doing air quotes for all that. I tried to do Kabbalah, not to poo-poo any of those things, by the way. If that's what works for you, I totally understand. And I respect that. But for me, I needed something more. I don't know if it's because I was raised Catholic, or if it's just something inside of me that wanted more. It was something that wanted more. I needed more. It was like I needed something else because I tried to do the sound bowls and I would go to yoga all the time. And I always said, oh, I only did yoga. I got to put a pillow behind my back, you guys here. Oh, I did Pilates yesterday. My back is like a little bit hurting me. But anyway, I wanted something more, and I would go and do these breathing exercises and breathing in and breathing out. And I remember like it's sound bowls, and I was doing sound bowls, and one of the teachers like, I don't like God. I don't want to. And I was like, okay, this probably, I don't know why I even stayed and went for as long as I went, but I did. I regret that now, but I can't go back and change the past. But again, I did all these things to try to get closer to God. I'm like, I want to get closer to God. Being in a 12-step program, I'm in AA, and for me, there's a big component of God there. And for me, God is Jesus Christ. So it's like God who died. It's Jesus, God, the Holy Spirit, all of it is like, that's God to me. And so, I was on this path and I'm searching, and I go to the Kabbalah Center in Boca, and it was amazing. And they were so welcoming and so warm, and it was wonderful, but that wasn't it. Intuitively, we all know what is it. It's like when you walk in somewhere and you're like, this is the place I'm supposed to be. When you meet somebody, you're like, this person I want to be closer to. I don't know why, but I really like this person. Or you meet your partner and you're like, oh my gosh, this person is the person I'm supposed to be with you. There's no rhyme, no reason to it. It's just a feeling we get. So this feeling I was searching for was just out there, and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm like turning over every rock. Like, where is it? Where is it? What is it? What am I looking for? What am I looking for? And last year was so crazy for me. And I don't mean crazy as in like bad crazy. I mean, like dumbfounding, like, earth shattering for me in some ways was, going on, I was on Facebook, of course, one day, maybe even Instagram a year ago in 2024. And I was looking, and I remember seeing this ad for Hallow. And I remember it coming up a bunch of times. And Mark Wahlberg, who I could, great guy. I don't really have any, love him, hate him, don't really, and I just, he's a guy, and I liked what he was saying, and I liked how passionate he was with God and Jesus and going to church and everything. And I love that passion and the calmness in his eyes and the serenity I felt from him in some weird way, but I did. And it was calling me, and it was like, you should do this. You should do this. So I said to my husband, I'm like, I'm going to do this. And he, of course, is very supportive. And he's like, go ahead and do it. Whatever. Okay. So I signed up to do Hallow. And it was before Lent. It was a couple of days before Lent. And here we are, Ash Wednesday, 2025. And I think back to that time, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to commit to 40 days of listening to this app. And I'm going to do it every day. And I can do anything for 40 days. And I'm going to do it. And I did. And I signed up for it. And it has, wow. A little did I know. It's kind of crazy. You say yes to something and all the doors start to open up. It's like, when you're doing something you're not supposed to be, it's like slamming the door, slamming the door, slamming the door. And you're like, why does it keep slamming the door? I don't know, because you're probably on the wrong path and you got to pivot. But our egos easing God out, say, no, I got to keep going, even though the doors keep slamming in my face. I can't, but no, God's saying, this isn't the way to go. You need to go where they keep opening, So for me, they were opening towards Hallow, and I went to Hallow, and I'm doing it, and I'll never forget it. I don't think till I die, to my last breath probably, but I was listening one morning, and I heard Jim Wahlberg, who I still want to meet. If you're out there or somebody out there that's listening knows him, could you please introduce me to him? Because he totally changed my life and he has no idea. But I listened to his story, and he too is an addict and alcoholic like me. And he was in prison, and he was telling his testimony like we do in some 12-step meetings. We hear people's stories. And when we hear people's stories, it's like the main objective when I was first getting sober was finding the similarities, not the differences, because we can all find differences in anything that push us away. But if we see something there that we relate to that actually makes our heart go, oh my gosh, this is what I feel, I'm drawn to this. And so I was listening to his story, and I hadn't been to jail, right? Yet. I always say yet being the operative word, but he had been in jail, and he kept getting in trouble, and he couldn't put down the drink or the drug, which of course leads a lot of people, 80% of the people that are in prison are due to drugs and alcohol. So it kept taking him back to the same place, which is the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And so he's in prison in Massachusetts, and I think he was in Massachusetts. I could be wrong, but he was in prison. And Mother Teresa came. And his story was just so riveting to me. And literally tears were rolling down my eyes when I was listening to his story, and rolling down my face, not rolling down my eyes. And I was crying in my bed, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, God is so good. I just got it out of that. And God came through Mother Teresa. And I was just, I was like, I want more. I want more. It's kind of crazy, you guys. It's like kind of like the alcohol. Like, I want more. I want more. I want more. And I wanted more. And so I picked up the phone, and I called this woman that lives here in Delray. I don't even know if she lives here anymore. I've even spoken to her in year, I think over a year probably now, maybe, or less than a year, but it's been a while. And I reached out to her, and I said, can you help me find Jim Wahlberg? And she's like, well, no, I can't, but you can call this woman, which was Ann Vucek, who's been on my show twice. Thank you, Ann. And told me about a trip she was going on, invited me to go to Medjugorje. And that changed everything. You guys have heard me talk about it so many times on this podcast, my trip and meeting Father Jan Rahill and going on this pilgrimage, and how I had no preconceived notions. I had no expectations. I had no, this is going to happen. I had none of that. I wasn't going on this pilgrimage to get something. I didn't want to achieve something. There was no underlying goal to get there. There was nothing I wanted. It was nothing like that. It was just like, I'm just going to walk, and I'm going to go, and I'm going to say yes. and I don't know what it's going to be like. And I'm just going to walk through these doors. They keep opening. And I'm just going to walk through these doors. I'm going to walk through these doors. And little did I know what I was going to get there. And to say my life has changed dramatically, it has. And it's all inside stuff. It's not outside, right? The outside stuff's pretty much the same. Same hair, same face, same body, same clothes, same handbag, same shoes, same everything there. But my insides changed because I was willing to listen. And as hard as some of the things I heard when I was over in Medjugorje and the feelings I felt sometimes of being judged, being shamed, I didn't let it affect me. And I don't know why. But it gave me the ability, God gave me the ability, and the Blessed Mother gave me the ability to be able to be like, it's okay, Elizabeth, just keep walking. Keep walking. I didn't have to change much of anything except for trust that I'm on the right journey. Like, that's all we want to know. Am I doing everything okay? Am I a good girl? Am I being the best I can be? Am I doing the best I can do? Am I being the best mom, the best partner, the best wife, the best daughter, the best niece, the best aunt? I could go on and on with the labels, but are you just being the best you? And I realized there that no matter what, God loves me. And I really don't think I ever truly felt that the way I do today. It gave me the ability to be okay. I am who I am. I'm exactly the way God made me, just like you are. And people may tell you, like your kids, that you are opinionated and you have opinions and people don't like your opinions. But it's funny because I was talking to my sister today and I was telling her, I was like, we're opinionated, but it's okay because we believe in our hearts what we believe. And it's okay if somebody else doesn't believe them. But I've been given the ability to speak my truth and not be ashamed of it anymore and not feel shame for who I am and what I believe. You might not believe what I believe, and that's totally cool. But I don't want to change you, and you shouldn't want to change me because we were all perfect. Like, we're not robots. We are people with brains, and we have thoughts, and we have ideas. And if we continue to be on these social media and all the rest of this stuff all the time, and we aren't going and we aren't making and we aren't building and we aren't doing, being creative, then how are we ever going to make an effect on this world? We're never going to. We're just going to be robots doing what the world wants, the powers that be, air quotes, want us to do. It's like your kids, like all these devices, I'm realizing lately, it's like they're taking away, our kids are just sitting there getting lost in these video games, right? And on these computers and on these iPads. And I was at brunch on Saturday. It was actually a late lunch. It was a late lunch on Saturday with a bunch of friends here in Florida, South Florida. And we get to this restaurant outside and there's a family of 4 sitting down. And I look over at this family and every person in the family has a device. Every person. To the fact that like even the dad had his earpods in, like literally had his earpods in, like I have when I'm going on a walk by myself because I want to listen to something. Not when I'm sitting in front of my family, earbuds in. And then one of the daughters has these huge, like, what do you call them? Earphones on, like the earphones you wear over your head, like these big things on our ears at a restaurant, sitting down with our family. No one's talking to each other. Is that how we're supposed to be today? Are parents too lazy to be able to make up conversation? Is it too hard to fight with your kids and say, guess what? Talk to me. We're leaving the cell phones there. If we have to sit here and look at each other and maybe let's stick out our tongues at each other. Whatever. Do something besides get on the devices. It's like so much more important to be with each other. And even if it's being silly or stupid or mean to each other, whatever it is, at least you're communicating. But I felt so sad for those people because there they were. They couldn't be in the present moment where they were with their loved ones right around them to say, hi, what are you doing? How you doing? What's up? What do you think of this meal? Look at the water. Look at the sky. We're so grateful to be breathing this air. All of that is like gone to the wayside. For look at what this celebrity's done or this celebrity done or this politician and everything else, which is great to talk about at times, but it's not everything. I learned on this trip that I am allowed to be who I am. I don't have to apologize as much as people want me to sometimes. They say, don't say that. You hurt people's feelings. Feelings aren't facts, by the way, and I can't make somebody feel one way or the other. And for someone to think that, it kind of gives me this power, which I do not have. We all get to take things we want the way we want to take them. But if we feel good inside because we have this relationship with God that we love, we don't have to worry about what other people think. It's like you think whatever you want to think. I say it all the time. Ben Shapiro once said, you don't have to apologize. Why would you apologize for being you? Don't ever apologize for being you. Say what you mean, but don't say it mean. Something I learned. I try to use kid gloves. They don't really work for me that well. I mean, I'm working on it. I'm working on it, you guys. I'm working on it using these kid gloves, but they don't always work for me. But I try to be kind. But I try to tell you what I think. And especially it's with my family. I do. And it hasn't gotten me all the places I wanted to get, let's be honest, because people don't want to hear what I have to say sometimes, especially loved ones. And I've realized they push me away, but that's okay because I have this, again, I'm with God and I trust that more than anything. And all this came from this little ability to go and say yes to this app, Hallow, and do 90 days. You guys, I'm not getting paid for this, by the way. They're not sponsoring my show in any stretch of the word. Be nice if they did, but they aren't yet. We're going to say yet. But I learned so much there, doing the Hallow app. It just started with those 40 days and then it's continued on and on and on. And Sister Miriam's on there. I love her so much. Again, if you know Sister Miriam and you're out there, if you're listening, Sister Miriam, if you would love to come on my show, I'd love to have you because she's doing these meditations now that are so game changers, being willing to go and listen to an app from people you don't know. And being willing to set aside all your judgments and all of your little beliefs and things that keep you away from the light, whatever that is, putting those all aside and saying, I'm just going to listen and I'm not going to have any preconceived notions. I'm not going to have any judgments. I'm just going to go and I'm going to see what I see and hear what I hear. And know that that's okay. And know that you are willing to be able to hear whatever you need to hear and take from it what you will. It's interesting. I've been doing this Bible study and now there's only 4 of us, which is fine. And one of them is my husband. And it's so funny because we sit next to each other. We listen to the same thing Father Mike Schmidt says in this Bible study. But we both hear 2 different things. It's so funny. Is that men are from Mars, women are from Venus? Is it where we are in our lives? I don't know what it is. And does it really matter? No. But we heard 2 different things. And it's so fascinating. See, it goes back to my thing that we aren't robots. We all view things differently. Hence, we can vote differently. We wear different clothes. We wear different hairstyles. We wear different everything. I love that. If we all wore the same thing, which kind of the world's kind of becoming, it's kind of a little weird. It's becoming the same restaurants everywhere you go to. I find it so interesting about that too. Just a side note is that I find that you can be in a shopping center literally in Phoenix, in Iowa, in Omaha, Nebraska, and Florida, and they all look the same. They all have the same exact stores, the same exact stuff they're selling, maybe different prices because of taxes or whatever, but pretty much it all looks the same and everybody looks the same. It's like, wait a minute, where's the creativity? I don't want to have blue hair or purple hair, but I think people having it is kind of cool because at least they're being creative and they're like, I want to wear hair like this. And it's like, okay, I would never want to do it. I don't think it looks that good, but if you want to, go right ahead because it makes me see, oh my gosh, you're diverse. You're out there and you're doing something different. Good for you. Because I think it takes a lot of chutzpah to be a little different in this world. Let's be honest. Totally does. People don't like it. It doesn't feel comfortable to see those things. Tattoos all over people. I used to think that was the worst. But the more I open up my heart and go, okay, no, God loves them too. This is what they're doing today. This is what floats their boat. This is what makes them happy. There is there is right and wrong for sure. The 10 Commandments are a big deal. When those were made, that's when the Egyptians were first leaving and following Jesus and actually Moses. And they said, these are the rules we have to follow because for every action, there's a reaction. And that is the truth. So if we do dye our hair purple or do certain things, you're definitely going to get looks from people of judgment. And that's okay. At least hopefully you can handle it. But just know that everything that we do, it can come, like even me doing this comes with, sometimes people don't like what I have to say. And that's okay. Don't listen to me. Don't follow me. That's okay. All I want to do is help one person. And so this Lent, I hope that you will take some time and maybe not just like give something up, but maybe say, I'm going to do something a little different. I wake up in the morning and I say, Alexa, I don't want to say it too loud because she'll turn on, let's face it. Will you play some music? And so she puts on music and for some reason, it's always Kenny Chesney, which I love. And I just start to dance for maybe 5 minutes in my kitchen. And it just starts my day. It's like you're smiling, at least I'm smiling, and I'm dancing in my kitchen. And for 40 days, maybe dance in your kitchen or whatever it is that you've been longing to do. Say, I'm going to go garden for 5 minutes, whatever it is. But you pick something that you want to do for you for the next 40 days and sign up for Hallow. I swear you'll love it. I just think you're going to love it. I think you are going to love it. I don't think you're going to hate it. I think just walk with it. Try it. Say, I'm just going to try it. There's a 90-day link, which I'm going to have here in the description. All you have to do is go and click it and click that and you'll get 90 days for free. And after those 90 days, if you decide you don't want to do it, that's totally cool, but just try it and see if you like it. But if we don't try things new, how are we ever going to know if we like them? Right? I'm going back to my notes really quick. I wanted to say the one last thing I want to say about the Hallow app is knowing that, you're having quiet time with God. And maybe you have been like, well, wait a minute. I don't know how to do that. Don't I have to go to a church to pray? Don't I have to do a certain thing to pray? And the reality is no. You can pray in your house. God's in your house. And you can put on your headphones and you can have quiet time and you can listen and you can hear and you can be quiet just for 10 minutes. And listen. Maybe you want to do it with your partner, your spouse. Maybe you want to do it in the car with your kids. Maybe you want to do it on your way to work when you're driving and just listening. Or maybe, like me, you set your timer 10 minutes earlier, your clock timer, your alarm, and set it 10 minutes earlier and do it before your feet even touch the ground. And take that time to just get quiet with you and God and hear what you've maybe been longing to hear. Maybe you've been stuck for a really long time and you don't know what to do next. Or you've been unhappy for a while and you don't know why you're so unhappy and you don't know what to do. And like me, for so long, I wanted a burning bush. I wanted God to light something on fire and say, go this way. Your life's going to be beyond your wildest dreams. And he never did that. He never gave me a burning bush. But that day when I started listening to Hallow and I heard Jim Wahlberg's story, that was the biggest burning bush of my life. And it took me down this path. And it's given me so many gifts since then. Because I was just willing to say yes. I was willing to go on this journey. I was willing to trust. I was willing to let go of my fear. I was willing to let go of my expectations, my judgments, and say, okay, what am I supposed to hear here? Why am I on this journey? I'm willing to listen. It might be uncomfortable in the beginning. I'm not going to lie. You might not like it in the beginning. Don't give up. You know, there's this saying in my 12-step meetings. It's like, don't give up till the miracle happens. And that happens in everybody's life. Like, don't go into this. I hope today you're going to go and download this app and you're going to listen to today's message and you're going to resonate with something and you're going to be like, wow, that sounded cool. Or you might listen to 10 minutes and hate 9 minutes and 45 seconds of it and only like 15 seconds. Whatever it is, just be willing to say, I'm just going to try it and see what's the worst thing that happens. I'm giving you some of my time. I'm going to give 10 minutes a day to listening to scripture and God and godly people. I'm going to do that. And what's the worst thing that could happen? Can't bite you. Doesn't cost you anything but some of your time, just a little bit of your time. You aren't going to be scrolling for 10 minutes on Instagram or TikTok. And you're going to say, I'm just going to listen to this. And I'm going to put that aside for 10 minutes. Maybe that's what you give up for Lent, is like just 10 minutes of TikTok. I don't know, 10 minutes of Instagram, whatever it is you scroll on that you're like, wait a minute, I'm just going to take 10 minutes away from what I normally do, which is go and scroll. And I'm just going to listen to this for 10 minutes or 12 minutes or whatever it is each day and give yourself this gift. Because I promise you, it is a gift that won't stop giving. Because it just, for me, it's kind of like that snowball effect. It just started and it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I just know I'm just walking with God. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. I have no idea. But I can tell you this, I'm not scared anymore. No, I'm not scared. I trust that everything is going to work out exactly the way it's supposed to. It might not be what I want. Could be better. I'm going to end with this. My husband said last night, we were out in this Bible study with one of my best friends. He said, there is no good and bad. We can't say what's good or bad. Life is infinite. Choices are infinite. Like, we infinitely have no idea. We think just like A, B, C, D. These things could happen, maybe 4 things, 5 things. But in God's world, it's infinite. Infinite things could happen. How would I ever imagine that I keep doing this podcast? 528 episodes. Here I am doing this. And I keep doing it. I keep doing it. I don't give up. I don't want you to give up. And the longer I just stay willing and just say, okay, here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Just what do you want me to see? How can you use me, God, on this planet? And I have no idea what's going to happen. And life isn't easy. But once we accept who we are, personally ourselves, that God loves us, our lives become so much better. So much better. Such a gift. Such a gift. It has been great hanging out with you guys for this half an hour. Thank you for giving me your time. Thank you for taking the time to listen to me. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share this with your friends. And please know that you are not alone. Remember that always, that God's always there. You just sometimes don't think he is, and he is. So have a fabulous day. Happy Ash Wednesday. And I have a fabulous guest coming on Monday. I can't wait to share this story with you guys. It's so amazing. So tune in on Monday, and I'll be back next Wednesday. Until then, take care. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye. Thanks for listening to Conversations with Busy. I hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, if you could subscribe, that would mean the world to me. And follow me on all social media. And you can also get my newsletter every Friday morning into your inbox. Just go to elizabethchance.com and subscribe. Take care.